pages. Right, let's start the book, yeah? Many years ago, Britain was a thinning land of brave knights and magnificent castles. Castles ruled by bold King Uther Pendragon. When he lived, the kingdom was safe and peaceful place. But one wise man had seen a dark and terrible future. Even now, that man was on his way to Tintagel Castle to warn the king. Merlin, my old friend, what brings you to our castle in such foul weather? I see the future, sir. Your kingdom faces great danger. After the king has quickly dismissed his servants, soon the queen will give birth to a son. Why, that's excellent news, and here at last. Alas, your majesty, will not live to see. Alas, your majesty will not live to see him become a man. No, you must be mistaken. I wish I were, sir, believe me. But why must you tell me this? For the sake of the kingdom, sire. When you are dead, others will try to steal the throne from your son, but he will be too young to fight. If what you say is true, what can I do? Let the child be born in secret. I'll take him to a place of safety until he's old enough to claim the throne. The desperate king struggles with Merlin's suggestion until at last, very well, for the sake of the kingdom. 1 year later, Merlin returns to the castle and leaves with a princeless bundle, the future king of Britain. Then at the village far from the castle. Good evening, Sir Ector. It is. Good evening, sir. Is this the boy you spoke of? It is. Guard him with your life. And you still won't tell me who he is. One day you shall know the truth. The wise wizard's prediction comes true. The king soon falls ill and dies, and a violent series of brutal battles begins for the crown. Much blood is spilled. The kingdom is thrown into chaos. But no one emerges to unite this land. 16 years later, Merlin visits the Archbishop in London. These are dark days, Merlin. Not for much longer, my friend. I want you to gather the land's most noble knights here on Christmas Day. For what purpose? To reveal the true-born king of Britain. This is what will happen. So on Christmas Day, the most powerful knights across the land gather at the cathedral in London. What do you think the Archbishop has planned? Who knows? Suddenly from outside comes Cassad! What in heaven's name was that? What in heaven's name was that? Has the sky fallen? The knights rush outside. I don't believe it. Where did it come from? There's an inscription on the side. Whoever pulls a sword from this stone and anvil will become the rightful king of all Britain. Stand aside. Gun! Me first. No, me. Gun! Night after night tries to remove the sword without success. It's a trick. It must be stuck. No man could shift it. And so the bishop issues an invitation to every knight in the kingdom. Grand tournament at London New Year's Day. Conclude with a contest to remove the famous sword from the stone. A few days later, the house of Sir Ector and his son, Sir Kay, and Arthur. What are you doing, Kay? Preparing for a tournament in London. You can be his squire, Arthur. Early on New Year's Day, Ector and his sons arrive in London for the tournament after taking lodgings at a nearby inn. Hey, the tournament is about to begin. I don't believe it. I must have left my sword at the inn. I'll run back and get it for you. But when Arthur reaches the inn, the place is locked. Everyone must be at the tournament. Arthur is racing back when a sword. Find a place to leave it still. I'm sure no one will mind if I borrow it. Here you are, Kay. Where did you get that? From the churchyard. It was stuck in the... It's the sword. The sword from the stone. It's not possible. The boy must be lying. He can't be the king. Leave him alone. Father, what have I done? After Arthur hears the story of the sword in the stone, I can't believe it. Yes, Father. How can my little brother be the true ruler of Britain? Let's put the matter beyond doubt. Arthur returns to the churchyard and replaces the sword. Now try to remove it, Kay. It won't budge. Your turn, Arthur. Gasped. It must be true. All hail the king. All hail King Arthur. I don't understand, Father. I brought you up as my own Arthur, but now you must know the truth. As Sir Ector has recounted the tale of Merlin's visit long ago, the wizard himself arrives and tells Arthur about the choice made by his father. After the knights had their loyalty, Arthur is taken to the cathedral. Long live the king and crowded King of Britain. Long live the king! Long live the king! He leaves the cathedral to be greeted by cheering crowds. But what must I do now? Do not be afraid, Your Majesty. I am here to guide you. Your future awaits, and it will be brightest than the stars. With his wife protector by his side, King Arthur heads off to fulfill his destiny. Your future awaits, and it will be brighter than the stars. To his destiny. Arthur sets up court at the castle of Camelot. Over the years, he rules fairly and wisely, vowing to help those in need. One day, a young man rushes into the castle courtyard. I beg your Majesty's help. My master, Sir Miles, was slain in the forest. Who killed him, boy? A brute named Sir Perilous. He lives in the forest and has sworn to kill any knight who passes. He has no such right. I will deal with the rogue myself. On his way to the forest, Arthur comes upon a robbery. Away with you, villains! Leave the old man be. As the robbers flee, Arthur recognizes their intended victim. I urge to turn back, sire. To turn back. Sire Perilous is a mighty warrior. Merlin, lucky for you that I was here. I'm on my way to deal with the knave named Sir Perilous. So am I. Fear not. Beware of Sir Perilous' strength, Arthur, and your own pride. As Arthur reaches the heart of the forest, Sir Perilous, I presume I've come to teach you a lesson. Ha! Defend yourself, stranger. Both men charge at full tilt. Thrown from their horses, the two warriors drawn their swords. The death shall be yours. Clang! Crack! Yield or die. Never. Roar! Oof. At first, Arthur had the upper hand, but then Sir Perilous overpowered Arthur. No mercy this time. Suddenly, my head, whoa! Perilous falls unconscious. How on earth? Thud. Merlin! It was lucky for you I was his sire. Let's depart before my sleeping spell wears off. Merlin takes Arthur to recover at a nearby hermit's house where the young king's wounds have begun to heal. Now you are fit to return to Camelot. In shame, for I am without my sword. I know where a finer sword is to be found. Come, the wizard leads Arthur across the land to a lake hidden on the edge of the forest. Behold the lake of Avalon. How will I find a sword here? Watch. Arthur gazes in awe as a beautiful maiden seems to walk across the water. Welcome, sire. I am the lady of the lake. Do you seek a sword? If you please, my lady, then come and take it. Excalibur, wait. A boat appears from the mist and magically guides over to the king. Arthur and Merlin return to Camelot. You were right, Merlin. This is the finest sword I've ever seen. True, sire, but the scabbard is more powerful. While you wear it, you'll never shed a drop of blood. You'll never shed a drop of blood in battle. The kingdom prospers. Some 5 years later, Arthur falls in love with a beautiful, noble woman named Guinevere. But when he tells Merlin, Guinevere is a fair lady, but I beg you not to marry her. No good will come of it. Nonsense, Merlin. My mind is made up. That Easter, Arthur and Guinevere are married. A great feast is laid out on a magnificent round table given to the couple as a wedding present. Thank you, my friends. You are the best and most loyal knights in my kingdom. From now on, such men will be known as the Knights of the Round Table. Long live the king! Not long after, it's Merlin's turn to fall in love. But Lady Nimue is not as honest as Guinevere. I'll pretend to love this wizard until I know all his magical secrets. Then I'll dispose of him. One day Arthur is riding in the forest when... Stop, sire! Merlin, I've come to say farewell, Arthur. I'm leaving Camelot, never to return. What? I forbid it. My destiny lies with Lady Nimue. Can she be trusted? Love is the one thing that belies my powers. I must trust her. But Merlin, no discussion. Just hear my warning. Beware of the evil woman who will one day steal Excalibur, and her son who will strike you down. Oh, that won't be good for him, will it? This woman will be with you at the end. When her heart is washed of its heart is washed of its evil. Now I must bid you farewell. Can such terrible days truly lie ahead? Farewell, old friend. I can only hope that just this once you're wrong. Merlin joins Nimue, and they travel across the kingdom. As each day passes, she learns more of his secrets. Then one day, you, the dark-haired boy, come here. You are Lancelot. Why, yes, sir. But how did you... Never mind. One day this lady will return to take you to King Arthur's court. There you must ask King Arthur to make you a knight. Tell him it was Merlin's last wish. This task completed Merlin's journey on with his love. Soon they reached a clearing, bare but for a hawthorn tree. Now to put my new skill to the test. Let's rest here, my dear. Nimue sings a song of enchantment. Merlin falls under her spell. As he wakes, where am I? Release me, Nimue, I command it. Your powers are no more, Merlin. Down you go. Walk forward, Merlin. The earth is beneath this invisible tower. Shall be your resting. The earth beneath this invisible tower shall be your resting place. Farewell, my love. Farewell. 10 years later. Arthur is returning to Camelot for a feast when, Sire, I'm dying. Help me, I beg you. Arthur orders the wounded man to be brought to Camelot. Thank you, Your Majesty. The Lady Nimue foretold that I would find help here. Nimue, she said the finest knight in the kingdom would draw this. She said the finest knight in the kingdom would draw this dagger and heal me. One by one, the knights of the Round Table attempted to remove the dagger, but none are successful. The poor soul. It seems that no one can save him. At that moment, Lady Nimue, I bring help to the wounded. Greetings, sire. My name is Lancelot. Lancelot told the court about Merlin's last request. Well, if Merlin wished you to be a knight, then I must comply. Kneel. Arise, sire, Sir Lancelot. Nimue leads the new knight to the wounded man, and he's done it! The man's wound is magically healed. Welcome indeed, Sir Lancelot. Take your place at the round table, and we shall feast. That evening, Gouvernail and Lancelot exchanged glasses. This new knight is both bold and handsome, but I must remain true to Arthur. Queen Gouvernail has stolen my heart. But I must be a loyal knight to my king. While Lancelot struggles with his conscience, some at Camelot have actually turned against Arthur. The king's half-sister, Morgan Le Fay, has mystical powers. Now she plans to use them against her brother with the help of Sir Accolon. Soon I will ask to fight for me, Accolon. Will you do that? To the death. I slay anyone for your love. Even the king himself, if you wish. Thank you, my love. Now go and await my command. A few days later, Arthur and Accolon are out hunting when they come to a lake. A fine ship. What's it doing here? I see no crew. Have they abandoned their craft? The two men climbed aboard. The two men climb aboard and explore the cabins. It's deserted. Let's return to the deck. Welcome, bold knights. Come dine on the finest food, while we serenade you. Two men find themselves unable to resist. After dinner, they are led to their own cabins, where they drift into a deep, deep sleep. Awake, good night. Where am I? In the dungeons of Sir Damas. Damas took this castle from his brother Sir Outlake. We knights, please help us to escape. We knights are Damas's prisoners. At that moment, a serving girl enters. How did I get here? My master, Sir Damas, told me you were transported here by magic. It must have been those maidens on the ship. But Sir Damas said you can earn your freedom if you fight for him against his brother. Fight for my captor. Very well, if he mustn't, but only if he frees my fellow prisoners. An agreement is reached, and as Arthur prepares to fight, Sir Damas returns your sword to your sire. Excellent, with Excalibur and its scabbard, it will be undefeatable. Meanwhile, awake, good knight. Where am I? On the field of battle, Sir Accolon. You were transported from the ship by Morgan Le Fay. She has produced Sir Damas to arrange a duel. Your opponent believes you to be Damas's brother. Who is my opponent? Opponent. He will be here shortly. All you need to know that is that Morgan wants you to slay him to prove your love for her. Morgan has sent to you the sword with which to do battle. Excalibur. Accolon is led to his opponent, little realizing it's King Arthur. With Excalibur victory will be mine. Prepare to die. Clash. Yeah, crunch. Oof. Arthur is puzzled. What's wrong with Excalibur? It feels weak. And then slice. Ah! I'm wounded. How can it be? Before Arthur had time to think. Snap! You must surrender, knight. You have no weapon. Run or die. Never kill me while I have no sword, and you'll be shamed. I still have my shield. Accolon's sword falls from his grasp, to be retrieved by Arthur. It's Excalibur. I can feel it. Unless he grasps his opponent's scabbard. Who gave you the sword? Morgan Le Fay. I swore I'd fight against any man to prove my love for her, even the king himself. Arthur, forgive me, your majesty. Have mercy. I forgive you, Accolon. It was Morgan's evil sorcery that led you astray. She's the one who must be punished. The wounded men are discovered by local peasants, who take them to a nearby abbey to recover. But it's too late for Sire Accolon. Please send for my knights abbess. I have message to convey to my sister. At Camelot, not long after. What is this? What's this? A message from the king, Lady Morgan. His Majesty warns you that Excalibur and its scabbard and are back in his hands. Accolon, does Arthur expect me to run? If so, he's mistaken. You find out where the king is. Soon Morgan and her knights are on their way to the abbey. Good evening, abbess. I've come to visit my brother Arthur. He sleeps at present, my lady. And so this would be easier than I hoped. Just to see him would be enough. As dawn breaks, has anyone passed this way, fellow? Yes, sire, a lady and many men. They headed towards the forest. The hunt continues into the forest until... There, up ahead. Faster! Faster, Arthur! Faster! Arthur will kill me if he catches up. Arthur is gaining on us. Morgan reaches down to her side. I shall pull the scabbard beyond Arthur's reach. Splash! Morgan rides on desperately out of the forest and into a stone valley. Arthur and his men are almost upon us, my lady. I'm not finished yet. Morgan conjures up magical powers. Scarshish. Arthur shall not find us. Let us join the stones. Scarsh. Months later, Arthur and his knights enter the valley. They've disappeared. They can't have ridden so far ahead. Where have they gone? Arthur searches the valley in vain. Wherever that sorceress is, she'll never set foot in Camelot again. I swear it. Long after Arthur has headed home, Morgan and her knights awake and flee into the night. 1 year later, Arthur and his knights are feasting at the round table, but as usual, one chair remains empty. That so-called Perilous Seat. The so-called Perilous Seat. This seat is reserved for the finest knight in the world. It's said that any other knights who sit there will die. Suddenly, supernatural letters of fire appear on the chair. A knight destined for greatest shall come to this chair. Moments later, greetings, young man. The seat truly is enchanted. Moments later, greetings, your majesty. My name is Nacians. This is my ward, Galahad. He's come to take his place at the round table. Is he a knight? Not yet, but his destiny. Behold, this is the seat of Sir Galahad, the world's best knight. It must be so. Knight, this boy Lancelot, for he'll surely be the greatest of all. And so, Sir Galahad, the new knight, walks to Perilous Seat and calmly sits. Let us drink, Sir Galahad. Sir Galahad, do you want some more? Do you want some blood? The following evening, Galahad joined his fellow knights in the great hall when, great heavens, what is it? Where did that come from? Arthur recognizes the shining goblet. It's the holy grain. That cup heals all wounds. It must be a miracle. The cup quickly disappears as quickly as it came. Sir Percival steps forward. I vow to seek out the holy grain and hold it in my hands. Percival rides east. Days passed, and one morning he sees a group of riders approaching. Perhaps these men can help me with my quest. As the riders came closer, it becomes clear that they are far from friendly. Kill the stranger! Charge! Sir Percival must fight for his life. Ah! Then his horse is felled beneath him. Nay, Percival is ready to fight back. You friends, you fiends, but is outnumbered. Then stand back, Sir Galahad. Ugh. Ah! Oof! I owe you my life. The two knights join forces in a quest for the holy grain. Years go by without success. Then one day, Nacians, what are you doing here, old friend? I've been searching for you, Galahad. In the castle beyond the river lies King Perilous. He lies badly wounded. You must go and heal him. And so the three men travel to the castle of King Perilous. Are you the famous Sir Galahad? I am. Then can you heal my wound? Far more from that. But I'm just a knight. Far more from that. You're the greatest knight who ever lived. Suddenly the room is flooded by a burning light. What? Who are you? As if an answer, an angelic maiden floats towards Galahad. The grain. Drink this. The king drinks, and his wound miraculously heals. My quest is done. Now I shall go to God. Farewell, Galahad. Percival returns to Camelot and tells the court what has happened. The quest is over, your majesty. It seems Sir Galahad truly was the greatest knight. For a while, Arthur's kingdom remains at peace. But behind the scenes, many in court are jealous of their fellow knights. One evening, Sir Agravain is walking in the castle gardens when Lancelot, alone with the Queen. So the whispers I've heard about their romance are true. At last, a chance for me to get rid of that arrogant knight Lancelot. Agravain takes the news to Morgan Le Fay's son, Mordred. The king must be told at once. This could be the first step to avenging my mother and seizing the throne. Mordred tells Arthur what Agravain had seen. I don't believe it. Sir Agravain is loyal to you as I am. He would not lie. Enough. I will hear no more. The blind fool. I must get proof he can't deny it. The next evening, Lancelot visits the Queen in her chamber, and where Mordred's spies are watching. How can we go on meeting like this? I have no wish to hurt the king. Nor I. Traitor knight. Traitor knight, come out. You're surrounded. Traitor knight, come out. You're surrounded. Thump, thump. I'm not a traitor. I will tell the king as much. We'll kill you first, and I must fight my way out. Ah! Ugh! Ah! Soon Mordred is the only survivor, badly wounded. He has no choice but to flee. The king will want us both dead now. Run away with me. I can't go, Lancelot, but don't forget me. I can't go, Lancelot, but don't forget me. While Lancelot escapes, Mordred tells the king what has happened. Then the Fellowship of the Round Table is broken. Yet Lancelot was a popular man. Many knights are sure to side with him. And what of the Queen? Treason is punishable by death, Your Majesty. I know that only too well. At dawn the next day, Gouvernail is led to a stake. Forgive me, my lady. Whoosh! But at that moment, nay! Ah! 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 Oh! Blah! Ah! Lancelot! Come! Lancelot rides off with the Gouvernail to his castle. Joyous guard! Arthur is secretly glad to hear that Gouvernail is safe, but the deaths of his knights must be avenged. There lies Joyous's guard, Your Majesty. As Arthur's men approach the castle, Lancelot appears on the ramparts. I have no desire to fight with the king who made me a knight. Come out and fight, Lancelot. You killed my knights and stole my queen. You must face us. Recklessly, Lancelot leads his men out to battle. Ah! The fight is long and fierce. Then, in an unguarded moment, Arthur is knocked from his horse. Ah! Shall I kill him, Lancelot? No, Sir Bors. There has been enough blood spilled. I never had any desire to fight my friend and king. Let us call a truce now. I love Gouvernail, but she is your queen. I've wronged you. Please take her back. I shall leave the kingdom forever. There are a few men I cannot allow to live. But after what you've done, I believe you to be truly sorry. Lancelot takes Arthur into his castle. Here is your queen. She's been true. She has been true to you. I swear it. Those who say otherwise only wish to destroy the Fellowship of the Round Table. Lancelot flees to France, but as the months pass, Mordred and his allies urge Arthur to make Lancelot pay for his deeds. Those knights must be avenged. While Lancelot lives, he is a threat to the crown. Arthur reluctantly travels to France, leaving Mordred in command in his absence. Alas, now's my chance to seize the throne. Through long cold winter, Arthur lays siege to Lancelot's castle in France. Meanwhile, back in England, Mordred is gradually gaining the respect of the young knights. Eventually, he feels bold enough to make an announcement. I have grave news from France. His Majesty King Arthur has been killed. Arthur passed command to me. Now I claim my right to rule us here, as his heir. Mordred is quickly crowned king after the ceremony. He seeks out Gouvernail. I came now, so you must marry me. I just know Arthur is still alive. I have to get the word to him somehow. With his trusted knights with her trusted knights by her side, Gouvernail flees across the country to a fortress in London, where he takes refuge. I have written this message to my husband. begging him to return, to take it to France, find the king and place it in his hands. Mordred soon rushes to the fortress in anger. Marry me, or you'll spend the rest of your life in prison. Yes, my lady. So, weeks but go by with no word from France. Then one day, I bring great news, my lady. The king is alive. He's abandoned in siege of Lancelot's castle, and he is back on his way, and is on his way back to England. Thank the heavens! When the news reaches Mordred, he marches his army to the coast, to confront Arthur's returning ships. Fooled by rage at Mordred's treachery, Arthur and his men charge into battle. Mordred soon realizes his army is in danger of defeat. Retreat! He swiftly leads his men away, but Arthur's army tracks them down. A final brutal battle ensues. We are victorious, your majesty. Mordred's men are all dead. But at what cost, sir, Bedivere? Only you and your brother Lucan survive, and he is badly wounded. I wish I had never seen this day. But where's Mordred? The man is responsible for all this. Ugh. Hand me your spear, Sir Lucan. There's no need for you to fight Mordred, sire. We've won this battle. I must take revenge on the man who destroyed my kingdom. I will not use my own might, not the magic or Excalibur, to do so. Sir reluctantly hands over his spear, and Arthur strides across the battlefield. A weakened Mordred is taken by surprise. Ah! But he fights back with one last defensive girdle. Before both men slump to the ground. Mordred's dead, but Arthur still alive. Just Sir Lucan and Sir Bedivere carry Arthur to a nearby chapel. But the journey proves too much for the wounded Sir Lucan. Brother, don't weep, gently knights. Tears won't help us now. Take Excalibur to the lake at the edge of the forest nearby. Drop it in the water, then return and tell me what you saw. The Bedivere sets off in his mission, but he's soon begin to have doubts. The king can't be in his right mind. It would be madness to throw such a valuable sword into a lake. I'll hide it here and come back for it later. Bedivere returns to Arthur. I threw the sword into the lake, sire. And what did you see? Nothing but ripples on the water, your majesty. Why betray your king for a sword? Why betray your king for a sword? Go back and obey my command. Feeling ashamed, Bedivere takes the sword to the lake. Farewell, Excalibur. Suddenly a hand rises from the water. The Excalibur sinks from sight. I don't believe it. But Bedivere returns to Arthur and tells him what he's seen. Good, now take me to the lake. When Arthur and Bedivere arrived, what mystical craft is this? As the barge reaches the shore, Morgan Le Fay, what is she doing here? She comes to take my rest, to take me to my rest. Merlin told me you'd be with me at the end. Now my heart is free of evil. Where are you going, sire? To the Vale of Avalon to rest and be healed. I will come again when my kingdom needs me. And then my realm shall rise out of the darkness. But if you don't hear of me again, please pray for my soul. His mind full of sadness, Bedivere spends the night wandering the countryside. At sunrise, he finds himself at a half-hidden chapel. That grave looks freshly dug. Who's buried here, Father? I don't know his name. Last night some ladies brought his body here and asked me to bury him. This must be Arthur's grave. I shall never leave his side. News of Arthur's battle with Mordred has reached Lancelot, but by the time he arrives in England, he's too late to save the kingdom. Now my king is lost. I must find Guinevere. After many weeks of searching, Lancelot stops to rest at an abbey when Lancelot, Guinevere, what are you doing here? I came here to ask. It was our love that led to the death of Arthur and the Knights of the Round Table. Go now, Lancelot, and pray for me. Sadly, Lancelot leaves the abbey. He has been riding for some time when he hears a chapel bell. I must go in and pray for Guinevere. Sir Bedivere, I needn't ask those grave who attend. Lancelot joins Bedivere's vigil at Arthur's resting place. Shortly afterwards, Arthur's beloved Guinevere leaves the world and is placed alongside her king by the faithful Lancelot. Soon both he and Bedivere, the last of the knights of the Round Table, are no more. Some say that one day when Arthur's kingdom needs him, he will return. Until that time, he sleeps in a hidden corner of a forgotten forest, where his tombstone tells of a legendary ruler waiting to live once more. The end.